This afternoon I'm here with David Mabry, who is an HR representative and has been with Pinnacle for how many years, David?
Going on 14 years.
Going on 14 years. Something David probably wouldn't say right out of the box is that he is also one of our key social media users and probably one of the first in our company to really use social media.
I would probably agree with that, yes.
Okay, good. And so when did you first start using social media, David?
Well, in my role as a recruiter for the company, social media has been on the horizon for years. So we really had to be an early adopter. So things like LinkedIn, MySpace, Facebook, we really started adopting those tools really as soon as they were available, because we knew eventually those were going to be the methods by which we would be able to communicate more effectively with people interested in Pinnacle Assurance, people interested in jobs with us, those types of things.
Yeah. So how long would you say you've been doing it?
Well, I'd have to go back. It seems like a long time ago, but Facebook's only been around for a couple years. MySpace was around before that. But basically since the start of that.
So I think Facebook was 2004, so would you say you were early on there?
Pretty much, yeah.
Very good. So what do you find, how useful do you find these tools?
Well, it's a mixed message with social media. There's a tremendous number of social media available, but I think the primary advantage is that it really just opens doors in terms of communication directly with people, either candidates or just people inquiring about Pinnacle Assurance. It's really a direct one-on-one conversation that you can have with these different audiences.
Right. So Pinnacle has a presence on Facebook.
Right.
And one of the ones I'm familiar with now is Twitter.
Right.
You're out on Twitter.
Right.
And do you do it, how often do you tweet, David?
Well, you know, the rule of thumb on all this social media is that you have to be actively engaging your audience. So the more frequent the communication, as long as it's meaningful communication, the better off you are. So we try to tweet, if not once a day, at least several times a week. And certainly we put out postings on our blogs about 2 to 3 times a week. We update that automatically on Facebook as well as on LinkedIn. We do have a channel on YouTube. And these things are all now becoming integrated for us so that really it is a unified message. You mentioned a presence on Facebook, a presence out on some of these different sites. We really have multiple accounts on all these different venues. For example, we have several Twitter accounts geared towards different audiences.
Different audiences. I think that's the important thing. Know your specific audience.
That's key, because you really have to tailor it to the message to what people want to hear about.
And you mentioned something else I find fascinating, and David is excellent at this, and that is you do a lot with blogs.
Well, that's something that we've gotten into within about the last year or so. Blogs are a little bit newer to the scene, and we found them to be a really good conversational tool. HR, my world, tends to be fairly formal, fairly structured, and it's oftentimes us just laying down the law for candidates, telling them you have to submit this way, you have to do this, you have to do that. What it's really done is open up doors for us to really kind of expose our company, to share useful information for people about what it's really like to work here at Pinnacle Assurance.
Right, and the other thing you do so well is what we're doing right now. We are, with our flip camera, making a video that we'll be showing at the conference, but also you make videos all the time. David interviewed me, as a matter of fact, not too long ago. But I noticed you interview lots of different folks around the company, and you put those out on some of our blogs or our sites.
That's another advantage of a lot of this social media. It's very visual in nature. Eventually, with the way it's going to move, it's not just video conversations, but video conferencing, video webinars, interactive webinars. All those things will be part of the social media spectrum in years to come.
Right, and I know in training we're doing a lot, also using YouTube. We now can, those who can't make a training session, we video it with a simple flip camera and we put it on YouTube and then link it through our site.
Absolutely.
so other people can see it. So it is an amazing world.
It is.
How do you keep track of it all, David?
Well, and again, that's the challenge. I actually, before you and I sat down today, I thought just for grins, I'd go out and Google social media best practices, and it came up with 10.3 million hits.
Wow.
So it's really becoming a broad-based tool that's really kind of tough to keep a handle on all the new stuff that's going on. So my recommendation for folks that are a little bit newer to this arena is to probably focus on 2 or 3 things, probably the big ones, things like Facebook, things like LinkedIn. Twitter is a good thing to kind of get your feet wet in. To really kind of hone your skills before you go out and really explore some of the more niche social media sites.
Right, right. I think that's excellent advice. Well, David, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk to us, and I'll be seeing you around Twitter probably.
Absolutely, and good luck with the NAMA conference.
Thank you.